This year I wanted to challenge and explore my reading a little bit more, and so one of the ways I've decided to do that is asking other booktubers to play my TBR game and pick my reads for a week. There's one catch. They also have to let me play their TBR game and let me control their reads for a week. And that's a lot of fun because once you've watched this video, you can head over to their channel and watch their video, and you can let us know who you think is crueler with their picks. I'm always crueler, I swear. And for this episode of TBR Swap, I have asked the wonderful Brie from Four Paws and a Book guesses, predictions on what I'm gonna get. You can leave them down below if you'd like. I am predicting cowboy romance, and I think maybe sports romance. I think she does have to give me some contemporary romance, as I feel like we read a lot of the same fantasy romance, but she tends to read what I'm reading already. I don't know if she has a lot of picks for me that are just recommendations from her, although rules of this are nothing. She does not have to read a book to give it to me, but I do find people tend to give books that they have read or enjoyed of some aspect. But I think she'll give me some contemporary romance. So sports romance and cowboy romance, I think, are the things I've talked about wanting to try. Maybe a dark romance, but not certain. And I think she will give me some sort of fantasy in there. I don't know what one though, at all. I think I'm more confident on what cowboy romance she could give me than what fantasy or fantasy romance she could give me. Anyways, Brie's channel, I'm a big fan of, so you should definitely go check her out. As I said, you can watch this video. Me and Brie have been friends for a while. Her TBR game was a lot of fun to play. It's based on Kerplunk, and I haven't played Kerplunk in a really long time, and I love to hear the sound of marbles dropping. Oops. Let's watch the first pick and see what's in store for me. I'm nervous. I think I'm sweating a little bit. I'm actually nervous. I just don't know what to expect, really.
Thank you so much, Cassidy, for asking me to be a part of TBR Swap. This is one of my favorite videos that you do on your channel, and so I'm excited to be a part of it. However, it's a well-known fact that you are very difficult to recommend books for, mostly because I have no idea what your reading taste really is. I was convinced that the Beast of the Briar series was not going to be a series for you. So what do I know? Picking books for you was really difficult, really stressful. I wanted to make sure that I was trying to at least get books that I hope you'll enjoy, even if I am making you step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Sarah ended on Animal on the cover, so that's where we're going to start. Let's figure out our roll. All right, I've got two random dice here. These are just the two that I found. All right, we've got a 6. All right, I'm just doing this as a screen recording on Canva because I don't have a printer. But this way I get to do a really cute graphic as our marker. And since the illusionists are purple, then you're gonna have a purple dragon. I thought that fit. So we have a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blue or green cover? All right, blue or green cover? Don't hate me. I want to see your reaction to this. I want to see what you think. And I think it'll give me a good gauge on how to better give contemporary romance recommendations. So American Queen by Sierra Simone. You've said you wanted to read more contemporary romance. You've said you wanted to read darker romance. This is Why Choose. And while this is about like the president and the vice president and the first lady, there's not like a ton of like politics in terms of like you need to know the American political system, so don't worry about that. It's a sexy good time. That's all I'm gonna say.
That was not on the bingo board. I was not expecting that. Not at all. President romance? Not sure if I like that, although Scandal? The romance in that? I love that show. I do like some presidential shows, so like I could like it if the politics and the drama are hikey, but when I saw that cover, I did not think dark romance or Why Choose, so that has me pretty excited. I actually know nothing about this at all. I'm intrigued. I'm always excited to step outside my comfort zone and maybe learn something new about myself. So here we are, hoping for the best. I'm gonna go find this, hopefully at the library, so that I don't have to purchase it, and hopefully I come back and I tell you that I'm absolutely obsessed with this. Thank you, Brie. I'm intrigued. I'm excited. It's actually just kind of savage that I got back from Mexico and I'm now sick. A cold is really starting to hit me, and my throat has really been hurting, and some other symptoms that I don't need to talk about. So I'm not doing too well, and I think you're probably gonna get to see me get progressively worse throughout this video, but I am still a reader when when I'm sick, so I probably still will be vlogging. But I do have an update on our first book. I have decided to DNF The American Queen. I think that's what it's called. There's nothing wrong with this book. It's just not what I think I'm personally looking for in a romance, which is part of what I love doing about this vlog series. It really puts me out of my comfort zone a lot of the time, and I would have never picked this up without Brie telling me to read it. And although I didn't like it, I learned some new stuff about my reading, and I think that that's always interesting and always helps me really get more specific about what I do want when I look at romance or something like that. I haven't read a lot of contemporary romance. I haven't even read a lot of dark romance. So things like this always help me that next time I ask for a recommendation, I have better concepts to go off of. A few things I didn't love about this one. The dual timeline. I think I don't like this in romance books at all. I think this will be my second one. There was another romantasy that I read with this as well, and I didn't like it. I think I just want it all to be present day. I don't want to flash back into the past to understand how the relationship got to where it is now. And both times it was someone underage, which I didn't love. I don't care about an age gap, but I don't think I want someone to be underage and then it be like someone that they then go to when they're later on. Like, I don't think I want their first meeting to be underage and they know it's wrong and they can't be together, and then have a present day timeline where they now can be together. It's something I didn't like about the Bargainer series, is the romantasy I'm talking about, and I don't think I liked it in this one either. Like, he says, you're 16, I can't be with you, essentially, and then they get back together when they're older. I definitely don't think I like that aspect. And then it's very insta love, very insta obsession, very insta lust, and that didn't work for me. I think when I think romance, the thing I want is tension and pining, and this doesn't have that because they are instantly like, you are the only obsession I have, you are instantly my whole world, I'm never going to kiss another guy, I'm never going to think of another girl. Like, they're so obsessed with each other. I wanted to give this book long enough until we got to a present day with the president, and when we did, I realized this wasn't for me right away, right into the smut and their obsolete obsession and immersive love they have for each other. I want banter, I want pining, I want tension. I don't want just like full on obsession from the get-go of like, let me put this in you right now, let me rock your world. And actually, I think I wanted a little bit more politics in this. If I'm gonna read a presidential romance, I want something about the president. I got 30% into this book. I actually read a decent chunk because I really wanted to give it a chance. I really wanted to give it a try and see if like it would get better for me. I will say I liked the one scene with the other love interest more than the president, but that one was so brief, and I think as soon as I got into the president moment, I just knew this wasn't for me. So I am moving on, but that does mean I need to watch Brie's next pick and see what I can read tonight. Oh, I also didn't think I told you at all what that book was about. Essentially, we're following our main character, who is the granddaughter to an ex-vice president, and so she's kind of grown up in the presidential world quite a bit. As a teenager, she meets this soldier, and they have this like one moment in a room somewhere at a political party, and then their entire lives they spend thinking about each other. He actually becomes the president of the United States, and he wants her when he's president, and he makes that happen. And then there is a secondary love interest that is like his best friend that she's also had a past with. That's it. That's what this is about. Now we're moving on.
All right, roll number 2. Ooh, a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We didn't get the snake. Single POV. All right, I'm slowly losing light. This was not an easy prompt for me to find. I did stumble upon one, but let me tell you, there's not a lot of single POV romantasies, but I did find one. Queens of Moirai by Rhiannon Hargaden. This is a book that I read last year, and it immediately jumped up to one of my favorites of the year. I read it so quickly. The audiobook is fantastic, but it's also on Kindle Unlimited, so you could immersion read it if you wanted to. But this is a Grim Reaper romantasy. It's kind of like if you had Scythe, but it was, you know, with Smexy times. Our main character, Morena, is an angel of death, a Grim Reaper. And her mother is an evil queen that has a zombie army. And so not only does she have to save all of humanity, she also has to fight her own mother. So it's a really interesting book. It has a little bit of a Why Choose element to it. I'm not sure that it's going to go all the way Why Choose. I haven't finished the series yet. However, there are 2 love interests in this book, and they're pretty evenly matched as far as like which one you like. Whereas if it was just a simple love triangle, I don't think that they would be as evenly matched. Just my opinion though. This is definitely a darker romantasy. obviously with the, you know, whole zombie army thing, but the banter is fantastic and I think it's so well written. So I hope you love it. I'm really experimenting here.
I probably should have. I remember Brie talking about this when she liked it, I think, but other than that, this book has like spaced from my memory and I didn't remember it. My throat is killing me. I'm sorry. I'm holding my tea. Also trying to talk not that long, but I don't remember anything about this book from when she liked it, so it feels like a brand new book to me and I'm excited. I'm intrigued. I love that you're experimenting. I love experimenting. I mean, I don't even know my own taste, so I need other people to experiment and tell me my own taste. That would be the best for me. So I will keep you updated on whether I enjoy this one or not. I've officially made it 15% into this book and I'm very sorry, Brie. I'm not really enjoying this one. I'm gonna give it longer because I feel like we just got past like the initial setup. I'm only about 50 pages in, but so far for this one, it's feeling a little bit tell, not show. It's giving a very like fairy tale-esque in its writing, and that's always been something that I tend to steer away from. But at this moment in time, I just like don't find myself caring about the characters. I don't really understand the motivations between everything, including like the motivation between like the mother and the kids. Like that's really lost in me, and the like friendship between the siblings I feel like felt very rushed and we didn't get to like see it be built upon before like things started to happen. And I'm just like feeling very like lackluster in my caring about the story. But as I said, we're just getting into like the real plot. Like we just finished like the setup. So I'm hoping that now that we are getting into the more like nitty gritty of the story, it'll like turn around for me. But if it doesn't, I will DNF it. I'm in a point in my life where like I'm trying to read things I absolutely love and skip the things I'm not. I don't need 3-star reads in my life unless they're like 3 stars that I'm enjoying, you know? Like if I don't see the potential in the beginning, I don't need to continue on. So that's kind of where I'm at with this one, but hopefully like the potential does get there, like for me. Like hopefully like I end up really liking this one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should stop doing these because I tend to not like books in them apparently, but here I am. Most likely to no one's surprise, I decided to DNF this book. I was reading it last night and I really just realized I'm not invested at all. I literally do not care about these characters or where the story goes. I actually also had to double check that it was a romantasy because I thought it was. It is. And then I was like, where? Literally where? I got to the point where things were really starting to happen, but I still did not care. And also I was very confused by the world building and the magic system. It just felt like really out there and fairy tale-esque and like not all explained. And I definitely like a harder magic system. That's my preference. I definitely prefer to really understand how everything works. And in this one, I just felt a little bit lost, which like I understand why that would work for someone else, but this didn't really work for me. And then I just didn't love the writing style either. Like it wasn't working. I did not care. I didn't understand character motivations at all. It seemed like there was just like a lot of like, we have to do this because prophecy, but like there was no real like motivation behind those acts. So I'm moving on to bigger and better things, hopefully, and we're gonna do our third pick. I told Lexi I DNF'd these, and she said, what if you DNF'd every single book in this vlog? She chose violence. I hope that's not the case. I really want to love something in this vlog. Like I really do. For my sense of peace, but also for Bree's. I always feel bad when I ask people to do things and then I don't like the books. Like that is like my worst nightmare almost. And then I'm like, well, why do I ask people to do things? Because my taste is all over the place.
Okay, roll 3. We have a 6. Okay, 1. And then we go back down here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Backlist book. Okay. So like 2023 or sooner or before? Okay, backlist. 2023 or earlier. This one was hard because I don't think that like I am well versed in romantasy that is older. I feel like, you know, we kind of started getting into it around 2024. So I decided I'm going to go with a fantasy that does have a little bit of a romantic subplot, and that is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I truly have no idea how you feel about the Mortal Instruments, if you've ever read them or not, but I think that this book is very different than her writing for that. First off, this is an adult book. It doesn't have any spice that I remember, but it does have kind of a romantic subplot to it. When I read this, I kind of equated it to City of Brass, the David Brad trilogy, which I know that you love. It's a very political forward fantasy. It's about Kel, who is the sword catcher. Basically, with some illusion magic, he is supposed to look like the prince. And so that way, if someone tries to assassinate the prince, then they assassinate the sword catcher instead, essentially. It's not a great scenario. And then we have Lynn. She is our female main character, and she does have magic. She is a witch, and she is part of an ostracized community because they're not supposed to have magic. However, when things happen to the royal family, who do they go to? The people that have magic. So it's kind of shady. Anyways, I really enjoyed this one, but I am worried about giving this to you because both Maria and I gave it 5 stars, and usually that doesn't bode well for a book that you're also going to love. But maybe this can break that cycle.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh god, you can really start to hear the sickness in me. It's coming. I'm on day 4. I think it only goes worse from here before it gets better. I'm not gonna lie. I'm terrified. Terrified. I have never read from Cassandra Clare. I have never necessarily wanted to read from Cassandra Clare. I did watch the TV show and the movie for The Mortal Instruments, and I liked the TV show. I know it's not great, but like I still liked it. So like I know her like style, but not like her writing style, but for some reason I've just like never been interested in reading it. They're just like things that I would rather read over this. I'm scared. I don't want it to end up another book. I hope I love this. I really do. I hope I do, right? Like, I hope this blows me out of the water. I like politics. I love the Daevabad series. It's back there. Like, that's one of my all-time favorite series. And me and Maria do have some 5 stars in common, but we tend to think opposite. But me and Brie have a lot in common. Apparently not in this video, but like, I promise you we do. Like, literally yesterday, I put like a how similar is our taste in books on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at CoversWithCasty. I've been posting a lot on there. And what did Brie score? Okay, out of 480, Brie scored 254. And like, that's pretty good. The top score was 326 because I put all the genres I read on there. So like, some people don't read horror thriller and some people don't read romantasy that were answering it. But like, Brie was like one of the top 3. Like, we do have things in common. Oh no, I'm scared. I'm scared. Okay, well, I'm gonna go read this and I'm gonna go continue to watch Ransom Canyon. I just started that last night and I'm very excited. I'm very into it. If you like cowboys, if you've been in your cowboy romance era, you should check this out. It's on Netflix. Got a lot of pining. It's about like a small town, Ransom Canyon, and their like ranches and like the drama and that. I would say it's a romantic drama. I think Netflix does these pretty well actually. And there's some hot cowboys in it and some ridiculous things that happen. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. What's the other romantic drama that I think that they do really well? Virgin River. I really enjoyed that one for the first couple seasons. But like Bridgerton, same thing, like romantic drama. Netflix does romantic dramas so well. I also think, is it Sweet Magnolias? That was another one that was pretty good. So if you liked any of those shows, go check out Ransom Canyon. I'm on episode 4 and I started it yesterday. That's the nice thing about being sick. Whenever I'm sick, I pick a show and I binge watch it. So I'll be done this probably at the same time I'm done this vlog. We're gonna do some TV sprints probably, and we're gonna read and do that. Although I think I'm gonna do the audiobook because I have access to the audiobook. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna download the Kindle sample. I've been loving doing that these days. See if I like it. I have access to the audiobook, so if I do, I'll switch to the audiobook. But also if I'm really liking it, I might buy the ebook, because that's my preferred way of reading these days. But I won't waste any money until like I've tried the sample and I decide if I enjoy it or not. Kindle samples have been coming in clutch for me. I don't know if it's just me, but for some reason when I sneeze, it always hurts the back of my throat. I was trying to Google it, and I think it might just be me. Actually, as a kid, I used to bite my tongue every single time I sneezed. It was just like a reaction to sneezing. So we're doing better than that. I need to sneeze again. This cold is kind of killing me, but I'm also doing a lot better than I expected to be doing. It's like day 5 and I'm still out and about and I feel like pretty good. I just kind of have the sniffles at this point, but like I don't feel like death. Like I don't feel like I need to just like sit in bed and sleep. I feel like pretty active still, which is really nice. I have made a little bit of progress in Swordcatcher. You know what? I'm not hating this one. My first thought as I picked up the audiobook was I want to reread Fireborn because the male narrator in this audiobook is the same one as the narrator in Fireborn, and Fireborn is like my all-time favorite series. I love that series so much with my entire heart, and I automatically clocked that. And the funny thing is like that narrator has not been in a lot of other things. Like he truly is like the Fireborn narrator in my head, and I hadn't listened to the audiobook in so long, but like right, like first sentence I was like, oh, and so like automatically I was just thinking about Fireborn, and I think that's gonna be a downfall to this book because I might compare it just because of the narrator. Sometimes I don't like when my narrators are the same, which like is not fair to them. It's not fair to the book community. Like I can't ask every book to have a new narrator, but like sometimes this does happen where like I compare things because like it's the same voice, you know? Is that just me? But in this one we follow 2 POVs, and we've definitely been with the male POV a lot more than the female POV, and I currently really enjoy the male POV over the female POV. I just more interested in what's happening in that. I'm not like obsessed with the writing style. It feels a little bit like a story being told to me. I've said this a couple times in this vlog so far, but like I think it's the past tense of it is making it feel like I'm being told his journey instead of like witnessing it with him. Just something there that like isn't my favorite. It's not like bothering me in this one like it did in the past book. It doesn't feel tell not show. It just feels like an oral story is being told to me, which can have details and stuff. Like I'm not saying it doesn't show me everything. It just is like a different style of like me being the character in the moment. It's like the character telling me, if that makes sense. Reviewing is hard because like words are so subjective, and like I try my hardest to make everyone understand exactly what I mean, but at the end of the day you could take what I mean completely different than how I meant it. But I try very hard to like explain it all so that that doesn't happen, but it happens. I've learned very much from doing this channel that like words are really up to interpretation. Like the way I see a word could be completely different than you see the word and all of that, and it's very, very subjective. Like how we hear things, the tone of things, like all of that based on our past experiences, how we take things. And so yeah, that's something I've really learned doing this channel a lot. So I try to explain myself, but I still fail at it. But yeah, as I said, I'm more interested into Kel's POV than the female POV, but we've only gotten her like once, and so like I do want to get into her head again because I do want to see if I enjoy her. We didn't really get like far into it, and I'm interested to see when they come together. I don't necessarily love when books follow two people that are like on complete other sides and they never like overlap. I definitely like to see how they are gonna overlap and see them overlap. So like I really do want to see that. I feel like his like position, like Kel's position in this court is really interesting, and I like books that follow like real things like this. Obviously this is like an exaggeration of like real life things because there is magic involved to make him look and sound like the prince when he's at events, but like it is a real historical thing that there sometimes would be a stand-in for the prince or the king in case there was an assassination attempt on them. And I think diving deep into this position of like privilege, but also like, is it privilege? Like they're like, oh, we're giving you a good life, but also you're kind of asked to die constantly. Like your life is not worth the same as his life. So like I think deep diving into that and what that means, and like we just had a conversation about like, yes, they gave you more freedom than you had as a kid, but you don't actually have freedom. It's like the eye of freedom. Like you're not really allowed to go wherever you want. You just have freedom with the prince. And I thought that was a really interesting discussion to have, like truly like how we can interpret freedom in a way that's like not freedom. Miley is hunting something outside. Now all my settings are off. I don't even remember what I was saying, but I've been liking those discussions, and I think that that's something I do love in like some political books when we get those conversations and stuff. I have a feeling we're going to talk about power corrupting and stuff, which has always been one of my favorite things to read in books. I'm intrigued. I feel like this was a good pick for me. Also, I'm like, do I have to go back and read something in the Shadowhunter verse? Because this is not the writing style that I expected from Cassandra Clare having seen the show. Like I am kind of shocked, not gonna lie, but pleasantly surprised. Let's continue. Also, I'm gonna have a BLT for lunch. I'm very excited. I saw that we had a fresh tomato and bacon and lettuce, and so I ordered some bread to my house. And I love summer sandwiches. Like sandwiches in the summer are my favorite thing ever. When I'm feeling better, I'm gonna go get like burrata and brie and like all the good toppings to make sandwiches for the next couple weeks because like I love sandwiches. But a BLT also delicious. If you have any good sandwich combinations, let me know. I've been trying to find TikTok recipes and stuff for like spreads. I like want to try some new spreads on my sandwiches and like new different sandwich combinations because I eat like the same 3 sandwiches over and over again just because like they're so good, but I always want to try more. So like let me know if you have any like secrets or like anything. My favorite is like a hot honey brie sandwich or like a basil tomato burrata sandwich. I can't have nuts, so I tend to stay away from pesto because pesto isn't as good without the nuts in my opinion, but like I want to make some spreads and stuff, so like let me know. Okay, I've made it 50% into Swordcatcher, and I think this book is losing me the more I read it. I think that what I want from this book, it's just not going there. I wish the relationship between the Swordcatcher and the prince was better developed because I just don't care about it, and I feel like I'm supposed to understand that they have this relationship and this background and like they know each other. Well, Kel knows the prince more than anyone else does, And I just don't feel that way. I really wish there was that connection so that I could maybe feel some pain later on in the story. I think the side characters are truly kind of lacking for me in this. And I've really realized something about me is that I really do want side characters in my stories. I don't want it just to be about the main characters. And the more I read multi-POV stories, the more I realize I want it to be a very even split between multi-POVs. I prefer when they rotate, and this one feels very heavy on Kel's POV, and Lynn, who's the female, we like never get. And at this point I'm like, why is she even involved in the story? Like, I don't get it. Anytime we tune into her chapter, I'm just like, whatever, like, why am I supposed to care about this? Like, why do you matter? Like, I've barely gotten any time with you and I'm 50% into the book. And I still kind of am struggling with the narrative style of this. I said it in my Discord that I was like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this is very like third person Kel's POV, and then randomly we like get lines where we get like the prince's feelings, and I'm like, Kel would not know that, and it feels a little bit more omniscient, and I just like feel like it's switching narrative style a few times within a paragraph, and that's like kind of bothering me every time I hear that. Like, I need it to pick one or the other almost. Like, we can't know how the prince is feeling if we're in Kel's head, even if it is third person, not first person, you know? Those things are kind of getting to me. I'm still intrigued. Like, I'm intrigued where the story is gonna go, but not like dying. Like, if I stopped reading right now, I probably would be okay with that. Like, I can't see myself continuing on in the series, which like maybe that means I should DNF the book, but like also I've already DNF'd 2 books. I'm not hating this one. And like, what if the ending really surprises me? I think I'm gonna go play Phasmo for a bit. I should go to bed and, you know, like make myself feel healthier tomorrow, but I can't resist a little bit of phasmophobia. This is probably not a good angle. I just want to do a quick update. I have read a little bit more, and we're finally getting into a point where the characters are actually interacting together, and I am really enjoying that aspect. Seeing Lynn and the prince banter, I do really like, and just having like those moments of characters finally like feeling like they have personality. Until this point, I feel like we're very much in Kel's head, and Kel was telling us about the characters, but we weren't really interacting with them, and we didn't really get to see like their actual personalities, versus now at like 60%, I'm finally starting to get to see how they act in situations, not just be like told how they act. Like, we're like, oh, Antoinette is like cunning and all of that. Now I actually got to see her be cunning. I got to see her sneak someone in. Like, I liked that aspect. Also, this blush, the Makeup by Mario blush, is my favorite blush. The cream of it is so good, and yes, I put some blush on my forehead, but like the consistency of this on your face, it's so good. Like, I personally think that this looks a lot more natural than the Rare Beauty ones. I feel like it just like sits on my face very nicely. I put a lot on because I do this before concealer actually, and so I'm gonna conceal down. I just think that that looks a little bit more effortless on my face. But yeah, that's my update so far. Like, I am enjoying now seeing like them come together. I feel like the side characters are finally starting to feel a little more fleshed out, which is something that I really care about in my fantasy books and stuff. Where did my concealer brush go? And then also for any, I'm doing like a little book review and like a makeup review for any like cream products. These Makeup by Mario brushes are also really good. That's how I put my concealer on too. So that's it. That's all my little review, I guess. I just was like, oh, I'm sitting here getting ready and I'm listening to the audiobook and my camera is literally right here. I may as well update you guys. I'm happy because I was thinking about DNFing this one. I truly was, and I was like, I don't want to DNF every single book in this vlog, but now that I feel like I'm getting a little bit more personality, I'm like, okay, I could end up liking this. So there's that. Also, I'm starting to feel better. I think I'm on like day 7. I feel like I'm over the hump, which is nice. Okay, I have some bad news. I'm DNFing another book. Oh god, I'm so sorry, Brie. I didn't mean to DNF every book you've given me. I truly didn't. I'm so sorry. I am not offended. It's me, it's not you. Honestly, Swordcatcher would have been a 3-star. Like, I know that, but not a 3-star that I wanted to continue. And so like the reading mood I'm in, I just like don't need those. I filmed my TBR yesterday and then I was editing it, and in my TBR I'm talking about how my reading has been like so much better and I've been more excited to read because I've been DNFing a lot of 3-star reads this year. And that had me just like thinking the only reason I'm not DNFing this book is because it was a vlog with someone, and I always feel bad about things like that. But it's you. It's Brie. You're my friend. I know you don't care. I know you're not gonna be offended by me DNFing all of these books. I'm so sorry. I do feel bad though. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like a collaboration thing where you feel like you need to like push through. But I'd rather go on to other things. And I think Swordcatcher was a really good pick for me because I see a world where I could have loved it. I see a world where like this might have been a favorite. But like currently, it was just far too slow for me. And we were at a turning point last time I discussed discussed this book with you, where I was like, oh, the characters are getting personality. And then like right after that, we went back to just being in Kel's head and hearing everything and not seeing it. I really liked interactions when I got to see them, but for the most part, I felt very isolated within our main character's head, and I was struggling with that, and I was also struggling with his relationship with the prince. I feel like I constantly was told what it was on paper, but like I never felt those ways. Even in the interactions with him, he's the character we get the most interactions with, and I was struggling with that. I think Lynn's POVs did grow on me. They became my favorite, but they're so far and few in between that they weren't enough to carry me through this book, and I wasn't continuing on in the series. Like fully, I did not care where this went eventually. Like I realized I am intrigued to know how this book ends, but not intrigued enough to continue on, and then I was like, what does that say about the actual story and my actual engagement and intrigueness? So like for my own reading love, I am DNFing this and moving on. I'm gonna bless and release it. Like I don't need this. I don't care enough, and that's a very big sign for me in reading. Like I want to feel so emotionally invested. I'm a crier in books. I'm a like giggler. Like I am very expressive when I read, and the fact that I was just like putting this on to get it done was telling me something. We need to watch Bree's next pick, but also I was on TikTok yesterday, and I don't know about you, but like I struggle with like layering necklaces. Yesterday I saw a hack, and I'm gonna try it. Someone said that if you're layering two necklaces, you attach one to the other and you make it like it's almost like its own necklace. Like it's like a two necklace. And then you like do a little wrappy wrap and you connect, and then you can just like pull them to like the layer you want. Wait, I think that actually worked really well. What the? My life has been changed by this hack. Other people probably already know it. I am debating getting one of those like necklace stackers. I don't know, I've seen them on Amazon, the like little things that have like the holes for them to make it look like it's stacked. But I feel like all my necklaces end up being all the same sizes, and so it's like really hard. So I think that this hack will really work for me. And I don't tend to layer more than two. I have like, this was kind of genius. Wait, I kind of love this. Okay, we're gonna watch Bree's clip now.
Maybe the last roll? An 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I knew I was gonna jinx it. I knew I was. So we had single POV and we have multi POV, but we are gonna have one more roll. All right, next up we had multi POV, and I do apologize for the snake, but this one was much easier to find than single POV, especially for romantasy. In fact, I think I had too many options and it kind of gave me decision paralysis. So I'm gonna go with Broken Souls and Bones by LJ Andrews. I know you have a special edition of this coming, or you just received it, and so I'm hoping that you love this because you'll have a pretty edition. I know that you have really enjoyed LJ's work before, and so I'm hoping this is a win for you. I have not read it, so please tell me if it's good. It sounds very political in nature, which I know is a buzzword for you. It says, together they'll restore a divided kingdom or burn it down. Lyra intended to live a quiet life to avoid the attention of the magic-obsessed king in the fortress of Stonegate, until Rorik Ashwood, the prince's silent guard and rumored killer for the crown, invades her village and uncovers the truth behind the silver scars in her eyes. This sounds really good. Please tell me, is it good? Is it good?
This is a very exciting pick, actually, because I do love LJ Andrews' previous work. I have multiple special edition sets of the Everking duet. I love this one. This one I think is my favorite, but this Arcane one feels so nice. And I do have the Fairy Loot edition of Broken Souls and Bones, and I also have a PR package coming with this as well. Canada Post is just on strike currently, so things are getting a little bit delayed, which is valid. I'm team strike and support it. I don't know when I will get that, but I do have to get it at some point, so I really do hope that I love it, because I'm gonna have to unbox the PR package. And so if I don't, that's gonna really suck. But honestly, this isn't my favorite edition. I personally don't love the font they chose. However, the end paper art is gorgeous. But honestly, not how I thought that man would look. Not actually how I thought either character would look for some reason. I think just because it feels so different than the Everseas and how I picture a little pirate man. But I'm into it still. So I'm hoping I like this one. I really do. Also, I love when people do this with me and they give me the synopsis so I don't have to tell you guys the synopsis. Incredible. Works really, really well for me. Okay, Tori asked for another Cooking with Cassidy segment, and so we're gonna do that. I have made a decent dent into this. I think I'm 70 pages in right now. It's not working for me. I don't know what's wrong with me right now. Like, it has to be a me problem, right? Like 4 books in a row? It has to be me, right? I just think I don't care. Like the tone, like the writing style, I have swapped from, I tried physically reading it, could not get into it. So I swapped, I restarted it, tried with the audiobook. I'm still struggling. I just like don't know why. Oh my god, Theo looks really cute right now. I don't know if I can get a video of it. Of course, the second I try, he moves. His like feet were like up in the air. He looked so cute. What was I saying? I feel like sometimes when characters, like things happen to characters really early on in the story, it really gets me intrigued. And sometimes I'm just like, but nothing was done yet to make me feel about that character. So like I'm not impacted emotionally by what happened. And like there are books where I've cried in page 20 because like I'm already so emotionally invested, and on this one that's just like not happening. I'm a little just like confused about world building and all of that currently. I think I just had like really big high hopes for what this could be because of the Ever King. I'm gonna continue listening to it. I'm hoping I can finish this one. Like I'm hoping for not a DNF. That would be great, especially because like I do own this like really pretty edition, but I definitely am struggling. But let's make lunch. We're gonna make some sort of toast. I don't know what I have in my fridge, but I am in the mood for some toast. Summer makes me want to have like fresh veggies, fresh toast, fresh sandwiches. Like I love a sandwich in the summer. So let's do that. I'm gonna just put this like right here. Ignore everything in the back. My kitchen's always a mess. Okay, no one make fun of my knife skills. I don't know where my chopper is, which would be preferred. We're gonna make our toppings first. I'm going to chop up a bell pepper, some tomatoes, and celery. I would prefer cucumber. I wanted a little bit of a crunch in there as well, but our cucumber had gone bad. And I'm going to add that to this little container. Okay, and that's those in there. Now I'm going to grate garlic into it. If you have a microplaner, that is the best way, I think, in my opinion, to get garlic into something like this. I have a little bit of cilantro, so I am just gonna really like mince that up really quickly and throw that in. It's not a lot. And I'm gonna squeeze some lemon juice on there. This will actually help with the like garlic a little bit. It'll kind of like toast it a little bit. And then also some sort of oil. I would typically use olive oil, but I think we are out currently, so I'm just gonna put some avocado oil. I like a generous drizzle. Some salt. And then we have some fresh basil, so I'm gonna chop some of this up. Basil and tomato is one of my favorite things in the world. I'm gonna leave it pretty chunky still, but you could cut it up smaller. And then I'm gonna let this kind of like sit and marinate a little bit. And then we're going to heat up my toast. We're gonna put the bread in the toaster. I'm gonna spread some boursin on it. This is the garlic, herbs, and cheese. And I have some truffle salami. I like to put meat in every meal. I'm trying to get my protein up, so this is always like a really easy way to do that. Doesn't this look delicious? It's kind of like a bruschetta-ish style. That's delicious. Holy crap. 2 people cursed this video, so I don't think it's my fault that I haven't liked anything. First off, Brie texted me beforehand and was like, you've been vibing so hard with books and loving books, and I'm scared I'm gonna be the reason that that ends. I told her not gonna happen. I'm sorry I lied to you. No, actually, like, I don't care, though. It's not you, it's me. You gave me good books. Like, I'm unpredictable. And then Lexi also cursed this because I told Lexi when I DNF'd the second book, I was like, I'm DNFing the second book. And I had known what the third book was, and I said, I'm very scared. And she was like, wouldn't it be funny if you just, like, DNF'd every single book as, like, a joke? And here I am, DNFing this book. This is flat, and that sucks. I loved The Ever King so much. I was so excited for this. I don't care about anything in this book. Not a character, not the world building, not the setup, not the plot, not the side characters. Like, everything just feels so surface level to me. I'm not one to just like say like I hate a book. Like, I feel like I normally can pinpoint things I like about a book and things I dislike about a book. This just isn't good for me. Like, this just isn't for me. If it's for you, go ahead, love it. But this isn't for me. And that really sucks because I was like so excited for my love of The Ever King. I really, really wanted to love this. Honestly, I don't love this edition. As I said, like, I don't like this. So like, I'm not that mad to get rid of it because I already was like, do I want it? But I'm bored. I'm so bored. Their interactions are bland. And like, why do I care about them? Like, I'm not invested into anything. So I'm blessing and releasing. Very happy I could catch that on camera. That was really cute. Oh my god, they're still going at it. But this is blinking battery and I need to watch Bree's last pick. So we need to do that. Well, hopefully it's her last. I guess she could hit a snake still. That would be scary. This should have been an instant win. Like, this was a solid pick to give me.
Nine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Human. So a human main character? All right, finally, last one. I'm going to go very far into left field from what I have been giving you, but I think that this one will be just a nice light palette cleanser to finish up. And so for humans, I'm going to give you Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. This is the second book following Done and Dusted, which I know that you read recently and really enjoyed. And I only gave Done and Dusted 3.5 stars. I think it was, you know, fine. It was fun. But this one was 5 stars for me. I read this so quickly and I enjoyed it so much. There's a lot of mental health representation in this book, as well as kind of healing from past trauma, which I always really appreciate in romance books. But on top of that, there is so much banter in this book. There's a lot of tension. Then it's just a really fun time. Our main character, Ada, shows up to the town to do a redecorating job. She's an interior designer, and you know, the night before she starts, she goes to the bar. She ends up making out with this very hot cowboy. I mean, who wouldn't? Doesn't think anything of it until the next day when that very hot cowboy is her boss. So that's awkward. Anyways, I hope you love this one as much as I did, and I hope at least it's just a nice light way to finish up this challenge. Thank you so much for asking me to be a part of this, and I hope you at least enjoy some of these books.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for this one. I've been wanting to continue the series. I really loved book 1. I gave it 4 stars. I've heard they get better every time. I forget, is this one a single dad though? And that one could be scary for me. I'm not necessarily a single parent person. I don't really like kids in books, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't really like kids, so sorry. I love people, like I love that other people love kids, but like it's just like not my thing. Don't like to be around them that much, don't like to read about them. So like that's a little scary if I'm right, but I could be completely wrong. But I love banter. I wish cowboys in real life were like this. I live in Alberta and they aren't like these fictional cowboys at all. But I'm excited. I'm gonna go start it. And I'm hoping we get a win. If we end this on a 5-star, like I would love that, because I feel like I've recently been learning to like the DNFs are worth it to get to the 5 stars. So if we end this on a high, that makes everything worth it to me. But also just thank you to Bree for doing this with me. Is anyone else like me? And when I get a new sweater, I have to wear it literally every day. Like I will do my most to try and wear it as often as possible when it's still like so soft. So you're probably gonna see me rotating between this one and then the gray one I wore yesterday quite a bit. I don't know what it is, but when I get a new sweater, I'm like, yes, that is my best friend. That is my favorite. I have to wear it constantly. It's just a thing I have to do. I have made it 25% into Lost and Lassoed. That's not the right one. I always say the third book title, always. Swift and Saddled. You know, it's funny, when I read Done and Dusted, I think I just constantly said Swift and Saddled, so I'm always just thinking about the next book. I was wrong. This isn't the single dad. We're following Wes in this one, who is the middle sibling, and he is the one doing like the big house. And I think that for me, what was so strong about these over other contemporary romance that I've read was the siblings and like the family and all those like core elements that I feel like added more depth to the story. I felt like the side characters had like real personalities. You could feel their relationships. You could see how one sibling was different with another sibling and things like that. And I really liked what that added. I liked that familiar element to this story. I definitely would be looking for more series like this that have a lot of like strong family bonds in it. And so I have enjoyed seeing our past characters again. I think I prefer Wes's POVs for that element, where like I like seeing how he thinks of his sister or his brother compared to how his sister thought of them in the first book and things like that. Like I think that that's like kind of fun, and I think that's interesting in a series like this. I don't think I've actually fully ever read a series completely like this before. I've read like bits and pieces. Like I've read a book from series like this, but I don't think I've ever continued past because my love of contemporary romance has never been there. I've never like wanted to actively continue a series necessarily, versus on this one I was like right away like I want to read book 2, and I'm already thinking about book 3. Like I am really enjoying it for all those aspects. The thing I could be struggling a little bit in this one is how insta-lovey it is, how insta like obsessed they are with each other. I think in that element I prefer her POV because she's very much like, it makes sense for her. She's like, I'm sad, I was in a toxic relationship, I'm glad I'm out of it, I've struggled with my self-worth, and then this cowboy comes around and he's hot and he automatically makes me feel like I'm worth something. And I feel like that really worked for me for their insta attraction. His insta attraction not necessarily working for me as much, even though like it does have an explanation of like I want someone not like other girls, but I think it's just like an overdone explanation for me, where like hers like really makes sense with like her history. I like feel like I'm getting a lot of character development through her insta attraction and insta lust, which I'm liking. I like her like standoff behavior about it. I do actually really enjoy her as a POV. I just like don't know if I'm obsessed with their romance at this moment in time. I'm only 25% in, so like that could change. Like it's not far into this book. It's a really quick, easy read, and I'm hoping that will change because like I do just like love the writing style, and like I do like elements of it, like him teaching her how to drive. That was really cute for me. So I'm excited to continue, but I think that I automatically loved Done and Dusted more than I loved this one. Like Done and Dusted from like the first page, I was like, okay, this is gonna be for me. So we'll see. This could turn into a 5-star. I've had 5 stars that happen and they're like slow burns, and then I've had like 5 stars that I'm like insta lusty over. So like maybe this will be a slow burn one for me. Let me be quite real with you right now. I have never ever met someone who doesn't like this sandwich. I will toot my own horn. This is thebomb.com. I might have made my bread a little crusty. This is literally delicious. I talked about it like a year and a half ago on my channel, and I remember everyone making it. It's hot honey brie prosciutto sandwich. So you start off, you put your brie on the bread, you toast it in the oven, you let the brie get a little creamy. You put some hot honey. I do like honey mixed with chili oil onto the brie after that. Prosciutto, I like to load it up. An apple for crisp. A Granny Smith in my opinion works better just because of the sour, but I didn't have that, so any type of apple works. And then arugula is my green of choice. You could do another green, but I just think arugula is really good. Always put a little acid on the arugula first just to let it like marinate a little bit. And there we have it, a perfect sandwich. And I also have a nice crisp Arizona. I love these. On a hot day, and it's real hot today. Now I'm in a sweater, yes, but I'm gonna go back to my cold basement. Okay, I'm gonna take one bite of this. Did you hear that crunch? The sandwich is so sticky because of the hot honey though. It's so good though. I need to wash my hands now. But I did want to tell you that I'm feeling a 3-star on this book, which is sad because the first one was a 4-star for me, and like I originally thought it was going to be a 5-star. Something I've learned more and more about myself is I really like to insert myself into books, and romance specifically, I have to be able to self-insert myself into to like really get the full vibe of it. And I personally don't relate to this main character. I really like her journey. I like reading about it, but I'm not as emotionally invested because like I don't feel the same things that she feels. I understand why this would be so good for women. I think that this is a really honest portrayal of women. I think that like we're all different. We all have different emotions. We all go through things, and I want to see them all. Like I do want to see them all, but I just don't think a romance who doesn't fit like what I am and my personality traits will ever be a 5-star for me. I can still enjoy them. I'm still enjoying this, but it's like hard for me to get swept away in all the feelings because I don't like relate. I'm definitely a self-inserter in my books in general, but in romance books I fully need to self-insert, and I'm curious if other people are like that or if it's just me. Let me know. And really, I'm just feeling a lot of insta love. I really want to see more moments of the two of them together. I think what's carrying this book for me is like the family moments and the side character moments. I really like those. Like the girls' night and the guys' night I think was a lot of fun to see, but I want to see more of those things between them that are just them instantly being like, oh my god, he's so hot, I want to take his clothes off. Like it feels like every scene with the two of them has had sexual moments to it. Even like the learning in the car, like she was like hot and heavy heavy from his like close proximity and stuff. And like, I just feel like relationships aren't all that. And I would like to see the moments that aren't all that. I would like to see some of like the more small moments with them. And that's what I really liked about the first book, is I feel like I got a lot of those, like just him holding her and stuff. So that's my current thoughts. Like, I'm still vibing. I'm still like really enjoying. I think it's really easy to read. I like the writing style, but and I like the small town and things like that. And I like the characters, but it's just like not like the 5-star vibe, but I'm still really enjoying it. Okay, I'm gonna eat this so then I can wash my hands and then I can get back to reading. One of the things I think I've truly learned to love most about reading is really how subjective it is. How these are words on a paper and an author puts their meaning behind it. They tell the story they want to tell, but every reader experiences it different based on their interpretation, their past experiences, what these words mean to them, and how much they connect to those words. And I think books like this are such a journey for me to go on when I read, because although I finished it, I'm giving it 3 stars. I truly think that if anyone comes to me and they said, this is my favorite book, or even this is my favorite book in this series, I think I understand a piece of them a little bit more. I feel like this book had so much that I get why people loved. It just wasn't a me book, if that makes sense. Like, I still liked it, I still enjoyed it, but I didn't necessarily like relate to it all. I didn't necessarily like have this like deep emotional attachment to this story because of those aspects. And I mean, not everyone has to have that when they're reading, but I do think a lot of us really are impacted by what we read and the conversations and stuff. And I think this one had some very, very beautiful parts to it. Those are the elements I really liked. There's a quote in here that I think is beautiful, where one of the females turns to our main character and is like, if you love who you are, why is it so hard to believe that other people love who you are? And I think that will speak to a lot of people's souls. I think a lot of what happened in this book and the conversations will speak to a lot of people's souls. And I think I understand those souls a little bit better because of it. And I think that that's such a fun thought to take into reading. And even when I do a vlog like this where like obviously it didn't go as planned, I will take something from every single book and it'll still make my life better for having experienced even the small portion of every book that I experienced. Like, I will never regret picking up a book. Whether I gave it 1 star, 5 stars, DNF'd it, like, I learned something from that book, whether it was about me, about someone else, about the author, you know? Like, I really do take personal, like, reading is personal to me. It is political. It is very much about humans, humankind, our feelings, all of those things. Like, I read for enjoyment, I read for escapism, but I also understand these concepts and I take those things in when I read. I've not read a single book ever in my life that didn't have some kind of conversation in it. Whether it's sexual freedom, whether it's political commentary, whether it's trauma healing, whether it's just like a fluffy romance, but that's still about loving yourself and like accepting things in others. Like, there's literally something in everything that is commentary about us as humans. And yeah, I'm going on a tangent. This was not my favorite book in the series. I stand by the fact that I'm an enemies to lovers girly for a reason. And yes, I don't need all my books to be enemies to lovers, but I like banter just too much, and this was just too softy for me. I missed the witty banter quite a bit in this one that I think we got in book 1, and I believe book 3 could be my favorite because of who it follows. Like, I already know I like their witty banter, so like that's really exciting for me. I like Lila Sage's writing style a lot. I like the conversation she has in it quite a bit. Even in this, like, if it hadn't had those moments, this might have been a DNF for me because I was just like not invested into the romance at all personally. Like, I didn't care at all about the romance, but I cared about the healing. I cared about the relationships. There was moments where like I was kind of annoyed because I wanted scenes that I didn't get. There's a scene where they're kind of just like asking each other questions about themselves and we just get one question and then they're just like, oh, we spent all night asking each other questions, and I wish I had gotten those parts. Like, I didn't need the sex scene, I wanted those parts. Or when like they first show off like the big reveal of the project they're working on to everyone, I wanted that because for me, like, that felt so important to their story as like a thing that they were doing together and helping them heal a little bit. So I wanted to see like the end result. And so like there was little bits like that, but those are things that I can get past. I think that if I was invested into the relationship, those things wouldn't have really bothered me that much because I would have been like, oh, I just like love this scene of the two of them. But I just like wanted more like little plot. I wanted this book to be longer. I actually think I want most romance to be longer than it is. So yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I'm really excited to continue though, like really excited. This has me really excited for book 3. It also has made me really realize that I need to read more in a series. I need to go back to Elsie Silver. I need to read the next like Wild Eyes book. I need to try Chestnut Springs because I think the romance will really matter to me. Like, if I like the writing style, which like I liked Wild Love, I think I gave it 3 stars. Like, I liked the writing style. I just didn't find myself invested in the romance. And I think that this was like a perfect version. If this had been book 1, would I have continued on in the series? Like, I haven't continued in Wild Eyes yet, but since I loved book 1, like it was a romance that really worked for me, I did continue, and I'm now really excited to get even more into it. I think I personally learned a lot about my reading taste in this one. I want to say a big thank you to Brie for doing this with me. I don't think this turned out how anyone expected, but I don't regret it. And Brie, I hope you don't feel bad at all. Like, I am a wild card, and I know that, and like I'm happy I got to try some of these picks. I think they were solid picks for me, and they helped teach me things about myself, and hopefully my video for you went a little bit better. And just a small reminder that once you're done watching my video, you can head on over to Brie's channel. I'll have the video on the screen for you to check out, where I got to play her TBR game and I picked her reads for the week. And you can let us know who you think's picks were more cruel. I actually don't think any of Brie's picks were cruel, except for maybe American Queen, because it was so far out of my comfort zone. I'm just an unexpected wild card with my taste, but I'm happy I got to try some things. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a horse emoji, and have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.